Every legacy has a beginning. Ours began with Lew and Pearlie Hewes. Before boats, we worked with automobiles, back in Waukegan, Illinois, but Lew's heart was always on the water. Boat racing wasn't just a hobby, it was a passion. With his own race team and boats, known as Lew Hewes and his gang, the course was set long before anyone realized it. That passion became purpose when Lew opened Hewes Motor Company, and in the mid-1920s, Lew and Pearlie moved their family to Miami and opened Hewes Boat Company along the Miami River. They kept both stores open and went back and forth between Miami and Illinois. Their two sons, Sonny and Bob, grew up around boats, engines, and hard work. Bob's journey took a detour through the U.S. Navy, ending when a mortar blast left him partially deaf. When he came home, he went straight to work beside his father at the boat shop. Like Lew, Bob was drawn to speed, performance, and racing, always pushing limits, always testing what was possible. Through the years, Hewes Boats sold some of the most respected names in boating: Chris-Craft, Challenger, Johnson Motors, Kit Boats, and more, while becoming deeply woven into Miami's boating community. In 1938, Lew helped found the Miami Outboard Club, and just a few years later, he played a role in launching what would become the Miami International Boat Show in 1941. As the business grew, so did the family. Bob married his wife Ida, and together they raised 3 daughters, Debbie, Lori, and Heidi. Life brought joy, achievement, and heartbreak. Heidi was lost to cancer during her senior year of high school, a loss that forever shaped the family. Lori became a nationally ranked competitive water skier, and for her, Bob set out to build something new, a boat that could turn hard at speed without slipping. In the late 1950s, the Wildcat ski boat was born. Only about 22 were ever made. The business became known as Bob Hewes Boats and Ski Shop. By the 1960s, flats fishing was exploding in popularity. Bob adapted once again, using the Wildcat's keel, redesigning the top deck, adding live wells to the transom, and the Hewes Bonefisher came to life. What followed shaped the entire skiff market. Working under Bob's manufacturing company, Regal Fiberglass Company, alongside his close friend Roland Berube, Bob relentlessly refined his designs. Live wells were engineered to circulate water naturally, before pumps even existed. Consoles were redesigned again and again. As the boats evolved, Bob sought out the insight of those who knew the water best. Working closely with legendary anglers like Bill Curtis, Lefty Cray, and Bob Stearns, the skiffs were refined again and again. Every detail was tested, challenged, and improved. Bob was a true perfectionist, an innovator driven by performance and purpose. He never stopped experimenting, never stopped asking how a boat could run better, handle cleaner, and serve anglers more effectively. Each redesign brought the boats closer to what he believed they should be. In 1976, he designed the first Redfisher. In 1979, he became one of the first builders, alongside Hydrosports, to incorporate Kevlar into boats, creating lighter, stronger hulls. His work was so forward-thinking that DuPont offered him a job. Innovation followed. Bill Curtis came to Bob with an idea, elevating the angler above the motor for a clearer view of the flats. From that simple idea and design, the poling platform was born. At first, it was a removable piece. Soon, it became an essential part of flats fishing. Bob also put trim tabs on a skiff, now essential. Larger models followed: the 17-foot Tarpon, the 21-foot Marlin, the 21-foot Sailfisher center console. After college, Lori returned home to join the family business. She would soon marry her high school sweetheart, Jim Wiborg. Jim started at the very bottom, washing boats, working his way through parts, service, and eventually management. In 1988, Bob retired, selling the dealership to Jim and Lori. A year later, he sold the manufacturing rights to Maverick Boat Group, trusting the legacy would continue. When Jim Wiborg took over the business, he didn't just carry the legacy forward, he grew it. With tireless dedication, Jim expanded the company, opened new locations, and brought Yamaha on board in 1989. But more than that, he evolved with the times. He guided the company through the highs and the hard times, embracing change when others resisted it. He helped digitize the business, building its first website, introducing new systems and software, and bringing the dealership into the modern era. He wasn't afraid to try new brands, explore new ideas, or take calculated risks. Under Jim's leadership, Bob Hewes Boats grew from a small team of 15 to more than 40 employees across 4 locations. To many, he's been a mentor, a confidant, and a steady hand, watching some come, some go, and always offering help along the way. In the industry, he's affectionately known as the mayor of the boat show, having missed only one in more than 52 years. Together, Jim and Lori raised 3 children, Krissy, Amy, and Brian. Today, the legacy lives on. Side by side with his children, Krissy and Brian, Jim remains deeply involved, guiding the company with the same integrity and passion that have carried it for generations. Now, the 4th generation carries the torch. Brian, with more than 2 decades behind him, still feels most at home on the water, testing boats, chasing performance, and pushing boundaries just as his father and grandfather did before him. His love for all things marine runs deep, shaping everything he does. And sharing that passion with his 2 daughters, teaching them, guiding them, passing down the traditions of the water, is what he lives for. Krissy, continuing the journey with the same love for the water, the same commitment to people, and the same belief that this is more than a business, it's a family legacy. Her passion for fishing, conservation, and stewardship of the waters is evident in everything she does. She holds a deep respect for the water and for every living thing within it, honoring not just where this journey began, but why it continues.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Wiborg. I'm the president of Bob Hewes Boats. My wife and I met in high school. Her name was Lori Hughes at the time. We dated in high school. In college, we got married and went ahead, and when I graduated from college, Bob Hewes, my father-in-law at the time, asked me if I want to get in the marine business. So I went ahead and accepted, started working for Bob Hewes, started as a boat washer, then next in the parts, then in the service department, then became an assistant manager, and then ran the business for him. In 1988, he wanted to retire. I went ahead and accumulated some funds at the time. I put a deposit down to Bob Hewes and paid him over a 10-year period. It always hasn't been easy. The downturns in the industry, I've been able to survive with my faithful employees. I have some employees who have been with me 35 years, 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, but I have a fantastic crew that's working for me at the present time. My son Brian, my daughter Krissy have done a great job taking over the business, but I'm still here. I'm keeping one eye open for them. When I bought the business in 1988, it's kind of funny. I gave a substantial down payment to my father-in-law. In 1899-90, for you old-timers like me, you saw what the industry did two of my boat manufacturers declared bankruptcy in 1990, and I said, what in the world did I get myself into? But I'm a survivor. I've been survived through all these other ups and downs in the industry. It is very cyclical, and the downturns hopefully will continue on for another 100 years.
I'm Bobby Shockey. I started at Hewes Boat Company on the Miami River back in 1974, the summer of '74, right out of high school. Got hired by Bob Hewes, and the general manager back then was Wally Hunter. It was great times being involved with this place. You learned a lot, the different types of customers that came in. You used their information that they fed us, and that's how we made the boats better. Talking with all of these great guys before they were big names. I don't know that there's many places that could say the same thing, the way it all came together for us. It was a great place to be. The best thing I could say to Bob, if he was around still, would have been thank you for giving me the opportunity to become who I am, and believing in my abilities and helping me grow and learn this industry to the point that I did.
George Poveromo. I'm the host of George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing, which airs on the Discovery Channel, and we are into year number 26 now. I'm also an editor-at-large for Saltwater Sportsman magazine and the host of the Saltwater Sportsman National Seminar Series. In short, the fishing industry is my livelihood, and just hugely proud to be a part of it all. Bob and I, we lived, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 miles apart, okay? And it'd be 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be working because I had an office on my home. The doorbell would ring, and you look out that little peek hole, and who do I see out there? Bob Hewes. And hey, Bob's coming to visit me. So Bob, how are you doing? And I would bring him into the office, and we would talk. And the funny thing about when you had these discussions with Bob, there really wasn't a discussion. He was hard of hearing, and you would just basically listen to him, and then you would try to tell him something, and you could tell he really didn't hear you, so you just let him run. Every now and then you go, oh, well, yeah, okay, and you stay with the program. Then it'd be about 11:30. Do you have lunch plans? No, come on, I'm taking you to Fish Peddler or Mike Gordon's. And we would go off to lunch, and Bob would treat me to lunch. And then we would come back, and he would stay there till 2:30, 3 o'clock talking, then he would go home. It became an every other week deal where you would hear the doorbell ring, and not on any particular day, and you look out and there's Bob. At that point you knew you were going to no work done the rest of the day, just chalk it up, you're going to have some good time with Bob Hewes.
Hey, I'm Charlie Schiffer. I started my marine career with Bob Hewes Boats. They gave me my first break in the marine industry. Always wanted to be in the marine industry. Started out as a fishing guide, and then went into college, and then continued being a fishing guide for a little bit until my wife decided that I better do something else, or she wasn't going to stay with me anymore. Found Bob Hewes Boats to be a really attractive place that I would like to work and continue my career in the marine industry. Happy 100th to Bob Hewes Boats, to both families, to all the employees that are there now, making it still go. Probably the #1 dealership in the country. I know because being at Sea Hunter, we've tried to get them carry our boats for years. Still trying. And Bob, thanks for all you did for me. Jim, thanks for all you did for me. And if I had one more thing that I could ask Bob, it would be, I'll give you $100 for one more thought. Thanks.
My name is Brian Wyborg. I am the 4th generation at Bob Hewes Boats along with my sister Krissy. throughout all the years in this industry, seen a lot of changes, seen a lot of people come, seen a lot of people go. But one thing has been constant, that we are continuously striving for excellence, and we are constantly running this business as a family business, not as a corporation. And we want to say thank you to everybody here, everybody who's not here, everybody that made it happen. Not just, present, but our clients, our employees, our friends, our family, everybody who's had the patience and willingness to put up with us over all the years. We just want to say thank you.
Hello, I'm Robbie Lanham. I grew up here at Bob Hewes Boats. Actually, we called it Bob Hewes Boat and Ski Shop. I started working with my dad in the end of 1969 and stayed here through 1981. I worked my way up to be a manager and co-manager with Jim Wiborg. In the early days when I was here first starting, I was mainly a cleaner, trash hauler, boat washer, whatever, to just learn the business. The marine business was different back then. We bought the boat from the boat company. We bought the motor from the outboard motor company, which was Johnson and Marquez. We bought the trailer from the trailer company, and then the fun began. We had to rig the boat. We had to put controls in it. We had to put gauges in it. We had to hang the motor, prop it, battery it, fuel it, put it on a trailer, hopefully to get the right trailer. So the average time to rig a boat from the time we'd sell it on a single engine could last anywhere from 1 full day for a pretty simple boat to 2 to 3 days. Depends how many options were on it. As I said earlier, Bob was like a father to me. He was there for me. He was a very good Christian man. We did a lot of things together and did a lot of good business together. And I would have to tell Bob, thank you for bringing me up. He was such a mentor to me that it was unbelievable. It was incredible, a journey that has stayed with me for a lifetime. And Merry Christmas, as he would say.
My name's Hal Chittum. We're inside Chittum Boat Works, where we build a lot of different size skiffs. So we're pretty busy. We build about 100 boats a year out of this facility. I love skiffs, and I got my love of skiffs because of Bob Hewes. I graduated college from University of Central Florida in 1972. I wanted to go to the Keys and get a job and hopefully become a fishing guide down there, a fly fishing guide. I went down to Worldwide Sportsman, and they didn't think it was a great idea that I was going to come down there and try to be a fly fishing guide, so they would not have any part of me working down there. So I came back to Miami and went to see Bob at his store up there because I knew they were building Hewes Bonefisher, which was really the only commercially built skiff at the time. And talked to Bob for quite a while, and he actually hired me to work at his Miami River store, which is a wonderful place in the 70s. It was a center of activity, good and bad. A lot of drug smuggling, fishing, real group of characters lived on the Miami River. After a few years, when I was going to start guiding, I actually purchased one of the Hewes Bonefishers for myself. And Bob and I were out testing props one day, and Bob liked to drive a boat pretty hard. And so I'm letting Bob drive this thing. We're taking turns, and Bob's in a very hard left turn, wide open, calm water, when the steering arm breaks. Engine completely flipped the other side, and I went flying right out of the boat, skipping like a stone on the top of the water. Didn't get hurt. And immediately, Bob swung around, and I jumped back in the boat. It woke us both up. It was a pretty crazy experience. It didn't faze Bob. We got back to the boat company, had a new one put on. We're back testing the boats again about an hour later. If Bob Hewes were to walk in here right now, it would be like he just left the week before, because he loved boats so much. He would have been in this boat company right here with all the crazy stuff and the materials we have these days and the technology. He would have spent the entire day picking things apart and learning about all the materials. He loved making things better. That's one thing I really got from Bob. He always wanted to do it better than had ever been done before. And he He didn't do it just to make money. He did it because he loved it. He loved boats, loved fishing, loved the people, and you can't really get much better than that.
Bob Hewes, known to my family and I as Pop-Pop, and Ida Hewes, known to us as Nana, were always very supportive to us growing up. They taught us a lot, both of them. Nana tolerated Pop-Pop and would always run around saying, "Bobby!" So that always stuck in our head. But I learned a lot from my grandfather and my grandmother. I learned a lot from my father and my brother. Growing up in the boating industry was very unique and very different. Our family times were spent out on the water. I can remember times where we would go and take 3 boats with my aunt and uncle and my grandparents and my family, dad, mom, Amy, Brian, myself. We would all go out boating in the Everglades, and those were our family outings. We didn't do football Sundays, we did boating Sundays. We did all of our family holidays on the water. Growing up in the industry, I did learn a lot from my grandparents and my father and my mother, as well as I'm still learning from my brother, believe it or not, even though he's younger than me. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of this journey with us, and we really appreciate everything. We wouldn't be where we are today without all of the support from friends, family, colleagues, vendors, everyone who's helped us along the way. Thank you. We couldn't do it without you. If I could say one last thing to Pop-Up, it would be Merry Christmas, Pop-Up.
My name is Bill Potter. I'm a NAM certified and SAMS accredited marine surveyor in South Florida. I have a pretty serious reputation as being fussy and paying attention to detail. And so a lot of people like me, a lot of people don't like me. The interesting part is the cornerstone of my quality standards and detail was laid in 1987, 38 years ago, when I was looking through the newspaper for a job and happened to see an advertisement requesting a service writer at Bob Hewes Boats. Well, even back 38 years ago, that was a legendary name. And I thought that was just an awesome opportunity. This was an awesome opportunity, and went in and was interviewed by the general manager, Bob Hewes' son-in-law. Was offered the job, and then very quickly I realized how serious Bob Hewes Boats took doing things the right way, focusing on safety, reliability, durability. So working for Bob Hewes, Jim Wiborg, and Bobby Shockey, who is very likely the best outboard mechanic in the world, I was taught to go through things using the scientific method, from careful outboard inspections to inspecting new boats that arrive for defects, to inspecting used boats. And it just all kept getting more and more serious and in depth.
So here we are today. I'm Mary Galt. I've been an employee of Bob Hewes Boats for 35 years now. As of today, actually, is the anniversary of my working time. I know there's a lot of people that have been talking about Bob Hewes Boats and Bob Hewes the man himself and all this, 65 years of it, I'm sure, and more. I want to talk about really the last 35 years is what I know about. We're celebrating the legacy of Bob Hewes Boats. And for the last 50 plus years of that, Jim Wiborg has actually been at the helm of this, more for the last 36, 7 years of it. But he has worked for Bob Hewes himself since the early 70s. It wasn't until I started to work in the office that I realized that Jim had a vision of where he wanted Bob Hewes Boats to go. And Yamaha was part of that vision. Everybody thought it was a foolish decision to make. They thought, who wants a motor that came in from out of the country? And they said, Johnson never do, it's USA, nobody's gonna buy Yamaha, it's an imported motor. We know how that panned out. Jim does keep threatening retirement, as we all know. It's not gonna happen. He can't sit home and do nothing. We know this. His wife knows this. But you see a boat show roll around, if you've ever been around Jim, at boat show time, you have never seen anyone. He has a different glimmer in his eye when it comes to boat shows than anything I've seen. He's got a sparkle, a glimmer. He's happy as anything to be a part of that boat show. He's going to be there regardless.
Definitely want to thank Jim and Lori for taking a chance on hiring me. They had no idea what they were getting into. We have to thank all of the employees, all of the vendors, all of the people that have come in and out through the doors, our customers who are phenomenal, for being a part of the family all these years. And a thank you to Lew and Bob Hewes for starting something and letting us take it to the 100th year anniversary.
So I'm Captain Rick Murphy, and I live in Homestead, Florida. And when I think about Bob Hewes, 100 years, are you kidding me? That's spectacular. What a feat. So proud to have been a part of that, you know, with the Wyborg family, Jim, the son-in-law of Bob Hewes, taking over the business. But man, I got so many really cool encounters with the old man, Bob. You know, he had a house down in the Florida Keys. And the one thing from the very beginning that we had in common is that we were both short. And we always had some little short comment to say to one another. You know, like if I was a little taller, I would be able to tell you what the top of that tower leg looked like from in a boat show. It was always boat show driven, or at a boat show he'd ask me if I had a quarter and I'd have to give him a quarter, or he'd give me a quarter. And I think we passed around the same quarter for probably 15 or 20 years, because I never would spend that quarter, because the quarter that he always handed me was a 1987. And that was the year I started with them. Pretty cool deal that he could remember that. So again, congratulations to the Hewes family, the Wyborgs, as well as 100 years of being in the business. Congratulations. That's one tremendous feat. So Pops, it's been a great run. And it all started because of you being a visionary. A 16-foot ski boat. And now look, we got 21-foot boats that do 88 miles an hour. And I'm grateful that you were a visionary and said, you know what? With guys like Pfluger and Vic Dunaway at Florida Sportsman Magazine, y'all were really able to start what hopefully will never be done.
My name's Bob Branham, from South Florida. I've been a bonefish, tarpon, permit guide for 45 years until I recently retired, sold my boat, and moved to Jacksonville. I know it sounds crazy, but I have grandkids up here. I do miss fishing for bonefish. When I was gonna buy my first new boat, Bob was at the shop and he said, let's go take a ride. I said, okay, great. He goes, we're gonna do the eye of the storm. And that's all he said, kind of cryptic. We get the boat, take it to the boat ramp, put out to the middle of this big bay. And he goes, now hold on to the sides here. And okay, so I'm holding. He goes, no. And he took my hand and he put it like that and he squeezed it. Squeeze this one. I said, okay. And then he hit it. And he started going in this tighter and tighter circle till I was looking, my head was practically hitting the water. He was just smiling. I was, pretty white knuckled by then. And when he was, I guess he was pretty sure that I was sufficiently frightened and he stopped and we went back in. But that was the eye of the storm. I don't recommend it. Bob, if you're listening, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's been a while. 100 years? Oh my God, how old are we now? I mean, you've come a long way, baby. And, I'm glad that I was able to ride that train with you for a little bit. I always enjoyed my interactions with you guys, and I just can't thank you enough for keeping me in business those first years that I was at it. If y'all know somebody that wants to take an old broken down fishing guide bone fishing one day when it gets warmer, I'm available.
My name is Buck Pegg. I've been in the marine industry for over 60 years. I am currently the Executive Vice President of Chaparral and Robalo Boats. Chaparral I founded the company back in 1965 around, and have been with the company going forward for many years. Robalo Boats we purchased from Brunswick in 2001 and have been building that boat for 25 years. Our family moved from southern Michigan to South Florida in about 1957. My father had promised us he would purchase a boat for my brother and myself to use our home that he bought on the Intercoastal Waterway. And I think it was probably a bribe, but we held him to it. But we ended up starting to look for a boat and checked around and found that Bob Hewes was probably the best place to go because he offered a great variety of great boats. And we went in there, I met Bob Hewes. I was 16 years old, and my brother, he was 11, he went with us, and we ended up purchasing about a 16-foot runabout and enjoyed the boat for many seasons since then. If Bob was sitting right here, I think he would be very proud of the fact that his business has gone on for 100 years. That's almost unbelievable, and I wanted to congratulate him on 100th year because he has been devoted to the marine industry, not unselfishly, to promote the entire industry, and has helped everyone in the industry. But I think he would be especially proud that his family was still involved to the degree they're involved in with Jim Wiborg, his son-in-law, Lori Wyborg, Brian Wyborg, and Krissy Wiborg. I mean, they all have unique personalities, like I said earlier, and contribute a whole lot to the total picture. The fact that they have done 4 times the business and still have the great satisfaction of the customers, and still do operate in nearly the same way that Bob operated in when he was there. I've always gotten along great with all the family members and all the people at Hughes, and I would like to congratulate them on the success of the company and what they've done to help promote it. And like I say, especially to the Hughes, to Jim Wiborg, Lori, Krissy and Brian.
One last thing I want to say, Bob Hewes used to have an expression, and most of you know it. If he'd see you, no matter what time of year it was, whether it was summer, winter, fall, autumn, he'd say, "Merry Christmas to you." And Bob Hewes, Merry Christmas to you.
4 generations, a century of innovation, built on hard work, determination, and dedication. And as we celebrate 100 years, we don't just look back with pride. We look forward to the next chapter, to the next generation, to another 100 years on the water.